Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog, and today I want to say a very special welcome and hello to a little girl called Ophelia who lives in Canada. My great niece Grace tells me that Ophelia likes to watch my videos, so a very special hello to you, Ophelia. And today I'm going to be making some cheddar crackers, small little pastry crackers that are made with butter and flour and cheddar cheese, just one bite size, and they'd be delicious, nice and crispy. So onto the ingredients, and we have 128 grams of plain flour, 56 grams of cold butter, 225 grams of, I'm using mature cheddar cheese which I've grated, some ice cold water, and I have a teaspoon and a half of an aromat powder. You can put any sort of seasoning in that you want. That's a little bit salty, so I'm not adding any salt into it. And so we're going to do all the mixing in the food processor. And the first thing to do, I think, we'll put in our butter. And I'm trying out the dough blade. I usually use a metal blade, but I'm trying out the dough blade today. Hope it works. Then we'll put the flour in. And we'll sprinkle over our little bit of seasoning. I have seen recipes where they've used seasoned salt, so that's an option. And then we'll put the cheese in. Now I've checked various recipes for this and they all seem to be almost identical, and I haven't found the original source of the recipe, so I can't say where the recipe originally comes from. So with all the ingredients in except for the water, we're going to pulse this until it sort of all mixes in and begins to break down. I'm just going to have a look at that. It looks fairly good, I think. I'll just take a fork and give it a bit of a stir to see if I can see any very large lumps of butter, which I can't. So we'll give that a couple more pulses. And then we'll add some water. So what I'm going to do is add 2 tablespoons of this ice cold water. I may need another tablespoon at least, but I'll start with 2 and pulse it some more. I'm just going to scrape the sides in. And put another tablespoon of water in. And I want to mix that until it's almost coming together into a dough. I can see that it's actually almost there. I'm going to put about 3/4 of a tablespoon in. I think that might be enough. I'll have another look. Yes, that's ideal. That's ready. So what I'm going to do is move these out of the way. And I'm going to tip this out onto the counter, onto some plastic wrap. And begin to pull it together. So, where's my spatula? I want to get this out. So I'm not going to knead this, I'm just going to flatten it out, and what I have got here is a square, and because I want to roll this out as much as possible into a rectangle or a square so that I get evenly sized pieces, I'm just going to push this down into the square rather than put a disc of pastry. We're going to chill it, and I want to chill it for an hour in a square if I can. And hopefully that will make it easier to maintain the square or rectangle as I roll it out. Right, I'm going to cover that, and then I'm going to chill that in the fridge for an hour. Then I'm going to come back and we'll roll it out and bake it. Now I want to preheat my oven when I come back to 190 Celsius, that's 375 Fahrenheit, and I will have a couple of baking trays which I'm going to line with some silver foil or some parchment paper, excuse me, silver foil or parchment paper, so that will be ready to take our little crackers when we've shaped them. So I'll be back with you in an hour. Okay, so I'm back with you, and I've taken the pastry out of the fridge. I've actually cut it into two so that I can roll out half of it and deal with that, and then roll out the other half. I've got the oven preheating at 190 Celsius, 170 Celsius with a fan, and 375 Fahrenheit. And I've lightly floured the work surface, and I'm going to roll the pastry out until it's about 1/8 of an inch thick. It's still quite crumbly, but I like that because I want it to be a little bit flaky as it cooks. That will give us a nice crispness. I'm just going to give that a little bit of a further roll, and I think that's about good enough. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim the edges a little bit. And I will reuse that pastry later, but I just want to show you how it has to be done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll out, and I've actually got something to measure here. I'm going to roll it. I'm going to cut it with a roller at about 1 inch thick, inch wide, should I say. Now they don't have to be the same size. These were going to be slightly larger because, and then about 1 inch the other way as well. This wheel is a bit wobbly. And then with each one, I'm going to make a hole with a skewer. I'm going to do a hole right in the middle, and I'm going to make the hole reasonably large, about twice the diameter of the skewer, because it will close up a little bit in baking. And then, having done that with all of them, I'm going to put them onto the baking tray. They don't have to be very far apart. And then they're ready to go into the oven. Okay, so I have our little crackers rolled out. I haven't left much space in between them, but I've left a little bit of space. I'm hoping they don't spread too much. I'm going to put them in the oven now and bake them for between 15 and 17 minutes until they've coloured up nicely and they're crispy on top, and then I'll be back with you to show you the results when I've taken them out and let them cool down. Right, I'm back with you, and I've baked our crackers. Now I actually got about 126 crackers, mainly about an inch square. Some are slightly longer than they are wide, but about an inch square. And I did have a few offcuts that I didn't roll out because I'd filled the 2 baking trays. So here they are, and as you can see, they baked up quite nicely. And I'll pick one up and show you, so you can see that there's a hole in the middle, and I'll just take a crunch of one. They are very, very nice indeed. Nice and crisp and very, very cheesy. And I can just, there's a hint of the aromat flavour that I put in, not too strong. The strongest flavour is the cheese. I'm going to have another one. They are excellent and ideal as a savoury snack. One more. And quite easy to make as well. So that's going to be it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this recipe. I urge you to have a go at them because they are very, very good. And if you have enjoyed the recipe, please give me the thumbs up below the video and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner there will be an eye, and where you can click to go through to the recipe, and I'll also put a link below the video so that you can get to the recipe that way as well. I will be back with you in the very near future with another recipe, so until then, happy baking.